It was a rainy evening when I first saw it. I was walking home from work, the kind of long, dreary commute that makes you question your life choices. The rain came down in sheets, blurring the city lights into a smudged painting. My umbrella, a cheap, fraying thing I'd bought at a corner store, barely kept me dry, and the cold wind gnawed at my hands. That's when I noticed the black umbrella. It stood out, leaning against the wall of a closed cafe. Sleek and polished, with a curved wooden handle, it looked out of place amid the dilapidated storefronts and cracked sidewalks. I wouldn't have paid it any mind if it hadn't been for the note attached to it. A single piece of paper dangled from the handle, the words written in precise, flowing script. "Take me. I'll keep you safe." I should have walked away. But I didn't. My own umbrella flipped inside out for the third time that evening, and in a moment of frustration I grabbed the black umbrella. It felt oddly warm in my hand, the kind of comforting warmth you'd feel from a fireplace on a cold winter night. The rain seemed to soften as I walked under its canopy. The world grew quieter, the distant sound of traffic and the pattering of raindrops muffled. For the first time in hours I felt at ease. It wasn't until I reached my apartment that I realized I hadn't seen another soul on the way home. The black umbrella became my go-to. It wasn't just functional, it was perfect. No matter how hard the rain fell or how fierce the wind blew, the umbrella never wavered. It was as if the elements bent around me, unwilling to touch whoever held it. But then the dreams began. At first they were vague, a sensation of being followed, of shadows moving just beyond my vision. Over time they grew more vivid. I would find myself in unfamiliar streets, the rain pouring harder than I'd ever seen, yet I was dry beneath the black umbrella. And always there was a figure in the distance. A silhouette standing motionless in the downpour watching me. One evening as I walked home I noticed something strange. The umbrella's shadow wasn't behaving as it should. At first I thought it was a trick of the light, but no matter how I turned or angled it, the shadow moved independently. It stretched longer when there was no source of light and swayed when the umbrella was perfectly still. I began to feel uneasy, but I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. The thought of walking in the rain without its protection felt wrong. The next day I woke to find the umbrella in my bedroom. I was certain I had left it by the door, but there it was, leaning against the foot of my bed. A chill ran down my spine as I noticed something new. The note that had once dangled from the handle was back, but the message had changed. "Don't leave me." I stared at it for a long time before crumpling the note and shoving the umbrella into the closet. That night the rain came down harder than ever. The sound of rain tapping against the window usually lulled me to sleep, but tonight it was different. It wasn't rhythmic, it was erratic, almost as if something was clawing at the glass. I tried to ignore it, pulling the covers over my head, but then I heard the creak. It came from the closet. My heart pounded as I sat up in bed, straining to listen. Another creak, followed by a soft, rhythmic tapping. I couldn't bring myself to move, frozen by the suffocating silence that followed. Then slowly the closet door began to open. The black umbrella fell out, landing on the floor with a thud. I stared at it, waiting for something, anything, to happen. But it just lay there, inert and harmless. Against my better judgment, I got up and picked it up. The warmth was gone. The handle felt cold, almost damp, and when I tilted it, a single drop of water fell to the floor. Only it wasn't water. It was red. From that night on, the umbrella's presence became oppressive. I tried throwing it away, but no matter where I left it, it always returned. Once, I hurled it into the river, only to find it leaning against my door the next morning, dripping wet. I started seeing the silhouette from my dreams and waking life. It would appear on the opposite side of the street, motionless under its own black umbrella. One night I found it standing outside my window, staring up at me. Desperate, I reached out to an antique dealer, hoping they could tell me something about the umbrella's origin. The moment they saw it, their face paled. "Where did you get this?" they whispered. I explained and they shook their head. "You need to get rid of it. Burn it if you can." I tried. The umbrella wouldn't catch fire. The silhouette grew bolder. It followed me into my building, its footsteps echoing behind me in the stairwell. It stood at the foot of my bed, its face obscured by shadows, whispering in a language I couldn't understand. I was losing sleep, my mind unraveling. Then one rainy evening, it spoke clearly for the first time. You took me. Now I'll take you. I woke up in the middle of the street, the rain pouring down around me. The black umbrella was in my hand, but it no longer shielded me. I was soaked, shivering, and utterly alone. The streets were unfamiliar, the buildings looming like giants in the mist. In the distance, I saw the silhouette waiting, its umbrella tilted just enough to reveal a hollow, grinning face. I dropped the umbrella and ran. They found me 3 days later, wandering a forest miles from the city. I was barefoot, clutching a broken, black umbrella. I don't remember how I got there, but every time it rains I hear the tapping. It's coming for me. And next time I won't be able to run.